Welcome to the GSL up and down matches. We are in Group E, our fifth and final group, and only 2 additional players will be getting out of the group today. We've got some sick favorites in this group.
That caught me completely by surprise earlier, by the way. Sika was here from Team Liquid and talked a little bit about the day, and we're like, yeah, well, today's Friday. I'm like, no, it's not. It's Thursday today. We have another group coming up tomorrow, and then suddenly I thought about it. I was like, wait a second, it's really Friday? I'm completely losing track of time here.
Well, there have been so many insane matches this week. I don't blame you. There's different groups of players every day. Some groups have 5 people. Some groups have 6 people.
Yep.
This is a 6-person group day. We could have a maximum of 15 matches today. Exactly. That's a lot.
Yeah, and we have really good players today as well. The whole up and downs were just like crazy. So many good players in every single group. And guess what? Some of them will drop down to Code A. We have a quick look at yesterday's group, at yesterday's results in just a second. Here they are. Seed and MC, the 2 Protoss players, advanced. Hack, Tree, Zinio, and Virus are in Code A now.
The only Protosses so far to advance out of the up and down matches. Consider, however, Code S still has a pretty stacked Protoss lineup with all the Protosses who were able to advance. As we said yesterday, the Protosses who are in the up and down matches are, for the most part, either the best in Code A or the worst in Code S.
And a quick look at today's games. So let's have a quick look at the players first. MarineKing Prime, BBoongBBoong Prime. We have Complexities Killer and Hard, as well as another StarTale player with Ace. And of course, as always, Slayers MMA. A sick group with really, really great players today. And once again, we will have team kills. MKP against the BBoongBBoong Prime is going to be our first match today. And if I'm not mistaken, the second one should be Killer against Hard.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, so that we have the 2 team games first.
Well, our first match, of course, as you mentioned yesterday, we talked about this quite a bit. It's going to be our team kill. You always have to do the team kill first in a group stage. MarineKing against BBoongBBoong here. These 2 guys have shown a great match in the past. MarineKing, a big favorite to get out of this group. A fan favorite. He has been tearing it up outside of the GSL. Around the world. He basically, any event he travels to, he makes one of the best showings, if not the best showing. Looks great in Team League. This guy is on fire. He skipped out on MLG Spring Arena number 2 because he was traveling too much. He wanted to focus on his game, and I think it's really going to pay off here at the GSL up and down matches. We are in our final day. It is Group E. I am Wolf. With me is Caldor. Let's get into the game.
And it's on game, the last day of GSL up and downs on Cloud Kingdom. To the bottom left in the orange, we have our Terran Prime player. It's none other than
MarineKing Prime.
He's such a boss, such a great player with a sick win ratio against Zerg. But guess what? The player who defeated him in his last match in Code S was actually a Zerg player. It was Slayer's Yu-Gi-Oh! He's the reason why MarineKing is now in the up and downs. And now MarineKing is facing another Zerg player, actually one of his teammates. Starting to the top right of Cloud Kingdom, we have
BBoongBBoong Prime.
My favorite part about MarineKing, in fact, is that he has so many different strategies available to him. He is known for one style, but he has shown so many. One of the first players actually to mech in a televised match in TVZ is MarineKing. You know, I believe it was Nada, the first person who made more than 2 factories off of 2 bases and made a heavy mech composition. But MarineKing, I remember the first time anyone had really done this heavy mech composition throughout the mid and late game was on the newer map at the time, Terminus Re, and he did it against Zenio, if I remember correctly. And that was just something that at the time was kind of like, it was unexplored, it was a little bit new. This guy is one of the most innovative Terran players in the world, if not the most innovative. He has changed the way this entire matchup is played, and right now, Terrans are struggling a little bit with this Queen buff. MarineKing may be the player to kind of show a new age of Terran versus Zerg, if that's necessary.
He may well be exactly this person. On the other hand, we have BBoongBBoong. He's a very accomplished Zerg player. He's actually underrated by a lot of people, but this guy has a lot of potential and he might be able to get out of this group today. Of course, we have 2 favorites in this group with MMA and MarineKing, but BBoongBBoong is definitely one of the players who could cause, I don't want to call it an upset, but he could cause a bit of a surprise here. We also have two Protoss players with Ace and Killer. We have a lot of potential here. And it's also very interesting to me that we have currently a situation where BBoongBBoong is in the same group as Hard. And he played against Hard quite often already. Actually, in this season in Code A, they faced each other, and BBoongBBoong took the series with 2-0. But he also faced him in last season Up and Downs, where he was also able to defeat him.
Yeah.
So for Hard, it's going to be very difficult later on. We'll definitely talk about this again. Right now we have the openings for both players. BBoongBBoong went for the standard 15 hatch, followed it up with a pool, is now going for the double queen and gas.
MarineKing is going for the one rack span with the double gas that we've seen so many players do, but he's making his command center on the high ground, which is a little bit strange, a little bit unusual. Almost everyone is making it on the low ground these days.
You definitely can defend it. BBoongBBoong, on the other hand, is doing something with gas here, and just lately, especially with the queen buff, we've seen a lot more Zerg players trying to rely on the queens in the early game, not getting gas all that soon because they want to they just want to focus on their minerals and, of course, on the drone production. But we have a Roach Warren for him, and this also indicates that he is going probably for a lot of aggression here, especially with the supply count that he currently has in workers, 22. He will go for a bit of a Roach Rush here. And this is going to be very interesting.
He's going to be a little bit annoyed, or perhaps a little bit frustrated with the fact that MarineKing is playing so defensively right now. He's getting fast siege tanks. Actually, it could potentially be fast Banshees as well, but either way, with a starport going down here, he is going to have something that's good at defending against Roaches. He's kept his command center on the high ground for quite some time. He is moving it down now to the low ground.
The timing will be off, though. The Roaches that he's going to build right now, he's going for a rush with probably 9. He's building 8. There's the 9th Roach. And from this point on, I would expect him to transition into a macro game. And the timing will work out that he will be able to do a lot of damage. But look at that. He's actually going for 10 Roaches. Is he getting another one? He has the supply now. He's starting to transition into a macro game now. But these Roaches, even with Banshee, they will definitely do a lot of damage.
They will do a lot because he's not going to, even with the bunker up, he's not going to have a solid defense in play. The Banshee, the first Banshee will arrive shortly after the Roaches do, and the Banshee will be able to chase these Roaches away, but he's going to lose a lot.
Wolf, he doesn't have the Xel'Naga Watchtower,
no,
so
he does not.
He has no idea what's happening. He will see this very, very, very late. The Banshee will definitely be able to defend in the long run, but up to this point, it all depends on how well MarineKing defends against this. And MarineKing is delaying his attack a little bit here. He's waiting for the last Roach, waits for before he can hit with full force.
Yep, here he comes.
He's moving in right now. Nice positioning with the supply depots at the bunker, though. But here come the Roaches, and this also means that MarineKing will not be able to repair properly.
Yeah, he's going to have to, well, he's just not going to. The Banshee does arrive right after the bunker falls. There are enough Marines to delay the attack at least slightly here, but he can't really engage with the Marines unless he wants to lose them all. So he's trying to balance how he engages with the SCVs and the Marines. It looks like he has just enough DPS to clean this up. He's losing a lot in the process, though. A total of 8 workers killed so far, and he's killed several Marines as well.
More workers are dying right now. The Marines tear their Roaches apart, though, and in total, MarineKing lost 12 SCVs. His worker count at this point is currently 26 to 44 as BBoongBBoong followed up with a lot of drone production. And regarding the resources lost, both of them lost roughly the same amount of resources, but with MarineKing also losing the SCVs in the production time, this is a bit harsh on him.
Yeah.
It will come down to the question, though, how well BBoongBBoong defends against these Banshees, because they have Cloak. BBoongBBoong is trying to get some Spore Crawlers here, even building a 3rd, but he needs detection, and so far he doesn't have it.
Yeah, he will take out one Queen right away. In fact, the Queen just kind of running around here, not even able to escape. I'm not sure how much I like the targeting of the Queens here. It's going to slow down his creep spread in the long run, but I think killing drones would be much more effective, and that's exactly what he's going for at the natural. This 2-pronged Banshee harass will potentially kill a second Queen. No! He goes for a transfuse. A lot of lost mining time here, though. As you guys can see at the natural, he's no longer mining, and now the Banshee is targeting, well, it's not targeting anything, in fact. He's not going for drones. He's going to try to focus on the Spore. He does get it.
He's playing this very well. One Banshee dies in the main base, but at the same time, we have a lot less mining for BBoongBBoong. He was able to complete the 3rd, though, and that's exactly where the drones are currently mining. But still, BBoongBBoong, let's have a quick look at his economy, is currently at 42 to 36. Another Banshee dies. MarineKing not paying attention. He was focusing on the 3rd Banshee, apparently, here.
Yep, and he needs to pull this away. He's not focusing on the Banshee again. He cloaks.
just in time.
That was a close call.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, Zerglings are going to run into the natural. There are several
Too
Marines
many.
ready, and he will have to run away immediately.
Too many Marines for him. But will the Banshee die? Yes, it does. There is detection. There's a Spore Caller. The Zerglings run in once again, try to take down the Marines, but they still have a nice position at the supply depots. This is a pretty tough match right now. Nonetheless, for MarineKing, he was pressured quite a bit by BBoongBBoong. And this just shows that MarineKing should not take his teammate easily.
Yeah, and he's actually taken a lead in workers here. Now, the reason why is because he's not missed a beat with his SCV production afterwards. His opponent made so many structures. He's made so many geysers. He's made a ton of spore crawlers. He made some additional buildings as well. So all of those buildings he had to make are less drones he had. Plus, he lost some drones to the Banshee play. BBoongBBoong is going to try this again. The bunker is about to be in play. He may get some SCVs, but MarineKing is actually too well positioned here. And this is not going to be a very effective trade. He will, I mean, keep MarineKing's Marine count low. So well, actually, he had a better surface area than I thought. He will lose all of his Zerglings, but that was actually a really good trade. I take it all back.
He did a lot of damage here, and the one thing that he ensured right now is that MarineKing cannot get aggressive.
He can't push anymore.
Exactly, he can't push because he does not have the support for the siege tanks. He will have to rebuild, and this just buys precious time for BBoongBBoong to spread his creep, to get his tech, to get the infestors into play. That's exactly what he needs here. He already has the infestation pit, is now waiting for pathogen glands, and as soon as he has infestors and banelings with baneling speed, there's just no way that MarineKing can do the damage with this initial push that he planned, that he wanted to do. He's trying to get a third base right now, trying to set up a small force of missile turrets as well to give detection so that burrowed infestors cannot be a problem. At the same time, it will help him to defend against potential airplay, at least for the beginning. And the one thing that we have to mention about MarineKing, his upgrades. He's really focusing on the upgrades.
Yeah, he's very far ahead in that sense. He has 2-2 on the way. His opponent is just now finishing +1 melee weapons. His Carapace upgrade is a little bit behind MarineKing, but very similar. But we do have baneling speed, pathogen glands, and infestor, well, just burrow in general coming down for BBoongBBoong here. He may use that for his infestors, in fact, but it's much more likely he's just going to use it to block command stairs in the future, and also for potential baneling traps he may set up as well. Right now, MarineKing, you mentioned he's going for upgrades. Not only is he going for the infantry upgrades, but he's getting that siege tank upgrade as well. 13 drones on the way for BBoongBBoong is taking that 4th hatchery. We may even see him take a 5th hatchery, so that if MarineKing focuses heavily on one hatchery, if he loses it, he can also just get the 2nd one.
What I would really like BBoongBBoong to do now is get a few spine crawlers in his mineral lines just against drop at his 3rd base, well, maybe the main base, and basically every single one of his bases. Drop play will be a problem. He does not really have to do it because right now he has a very good overlord spread. He could potentially get another overlord into position at the bottom right of his natural. That would help him quite a lot. But at this time we have overlords to the top left that will scout if there are any medivacs trying to go for some kind of drop play. And this is what could get really nasty for him later on. MarineKing's macro management and his multitasking is excellent, so he has to be really careful here. Run by attempt, spotted by the Zanaga. Watch out.
He will have to cancel. No!
Pulls back here.
Yeah, that was... he could have actually forced a cancel. I think he may try. He's thinking about it. He killed the SCV, so the command center is no longer building. He has to send another one over.
If you lose the Marines, you have, the Zerglings, you have the problem that you can't pose a threat to your opponent anymore. So MarineKing is aware that there are Zerglings. He's a little bit reluctant to move out. That's why BBoongBBoong did not try to stick around for the cancel. But yeah, he could have forced the cancel, decided not to do it, and I'm okay with this decision. But now he has to defend against this army. Where are the Fungals? He needs to get in here, and he does. The Fungal is beautiful. The siege tank's doing the damage, but the Banelings and Zerglings running in. But MarineKing, with his split, able to save the siege tanks, and now BBoongBBoong in trouble. Has to be very, very careful.
With the siege tanks still in the army, it's going to be very difficult for him to engage here.
Nice
he does
timing,
get a great Fungal through here, tanking the siege tank fire with some other units. The infestors close the distance. It looks like MarineKing just barely has enough to hold on for a little bit longer, but with the rest of these Zerglings coming in here and the Queen's doing the extra damage, he will be cleaned up. Nicely done.
Well done. And did you see how he burrowed his infested. I love this. And at the same time, MarineKing immediately with a scan. In the heat of the battle, he saw exactly what was happening. He saw the infestors were boring. And the first thing that he does is he scans. He's a little bit too late. The siege tanks were already dying, so he could not take down the infestors. But both players showing great decision-making micro in the fight.
Look at how quickly MarineKing is getting 3-3, but the same can be said of his opponent. His opponent starts 3-3 just a little bit later. Adrenal glands are finishing up. He's adding 6 additional infestors. It's going to put him up to a total of 10. MarineKing adding some additional production as well here, and I'm thinking we're going to see him take that 4th base very soon. He scans, kills the bird Zergling there. He's moving across the map. He has his orbital ready. He's going to send it over there very soon. At this point, BBoongBBoong is preparing for trying to catch this army, but he needs to catch the tank off guard. I mean, even though there's only one tank here, there are a lot of Marauders, and if the tank is sieged up, then he's not going to want to engage there. MarineKing is making 2 tanks at a time right now. His tank count about to be at 6 as soon as the next 2 pop. But he's not waiting. I like that he's actually just continuing to be aggressive here.
Ultralist transition now for BBoongBBoong on Hive Tech, and he's moving in once again with the ground army. The siege tank trying to do the damage. Immediately the bungles join the battle, and the second wave of Marines and tanks are able to clear the army of BBoongBBoong.
He tried to go in, but MarineKing had a flank set up. He caught the infestors as they were coming forward.
The angle here is always a little bit of a problem. MarineKing did this very well, positioned some of the siege tanks on the low ground in order to get a good shot at the Zerglings. And this is really a great first game in today's up and downs.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying this a lot here.
These 2 teammates are so evenly matched right now. MarineKing is being forced back, but he has a second wave of units already ready here. He's killed so many creep tumors, and right now, they're basically both on even bases, and he's going to clean up the Zergling run by no problem. He's already prepared, always at his 4th orbital. He didn't even make it into a planetary. 1 tank does fall, but it's not the end of the world for MarineKing, who still has a lot of pushing power with this. He's going to hit 3-3 right now before his opponent has his 3-3 upgrades, and if he actually engages during this timing, MarineKing is going to crush the battle very easily.
We have a little bit of a problem for BBoongBBoong. Even though his injects are top-notch, he is lacking maybe a macro hatch. He's getting another hatchery now. This will help him a lot because he had lava problems. He did not have enough lava to get rid of his resources, and he definitely has to keep his production on top because MarineKing has such a great macro here. He's getting all the upgrades, 12 Marines at a time, more and more medivacs and siege tanks, and BBoongBBoong now with another hatch that will help him so much as his bank increases once again up to 1,500.
Yeah. He's really banking the money at this point. He's going to try to engage this as cost efficiently as possible. Here he goes. I'm not sure if this is the best angle of attack as his infestors were a little bit at the back, but now he's tearing through. Great fungals on this last group of Marines.
A few of the infestors die though, but the fungals, they do the damage. Another infestor is completely obliterated here. And I have to say that BBoongBBoong, maybe with a little bit of micro at his infestors, would be in a much better position than he already is. But he's super ahead with 30 supply. He killed the army of MarineKing, but he needs more infestors now. He's rebuilding them right away.
Great fungal. He catches these Marines, but the tanks are coming in here for help.
On the Ultralist.
Yeah, he's just using these queens so well. I love that he's bringing these. This Ultra is getting a little bit ahead of itself. Does get taken out. MarineKing with a second wave of units here. There are just not enough energy on these infestors.
He needs to go in with his Ultralist once again. Another transfuse in order to save the beefy Zerg unit. He doesn't have any energy on the queens left. I think
man, I'm so amazed by MarineKing's control here. He's also not sieging up his tanks, which I really like in this situation. They do a ton of DPS actually in their tank mode.
Especially against the Ultralisk infestors.
And he's going to take out more Ultras here. And even though BBoongBBoong is ahead in supply right now, with no real answer for the stream of units across the map, he's trying to engage his cost efficiently, but knows the supply deficit going further and further in MarineKing's favor. He's going to scan and kill these infestors. Well, he didn't do it, but he's got to worry about this one Ultra. It looks like BBoongBBoong may have pushed him back for now, but again, another wave comes in.
MarineKing just with attack wave after attack wave, and BBoongBBoong still with a problem with his lava. Finally, the inject's hitting. He has lava to produce additional units. He's getting 6 Ultralisks, more infestors, and he needs them, as MarineKing really makes him work for this. But BBoongBBoong has a 5th base. He has a 5th base to the top left. He can saturate it. MarineKing going for the +3 attack upgrade for his siege tanks.
His upgrades have been so fast. It's 23 minutes of the game, and both of these players at 3-3, plus Chitin is plating, and then +3 coming out for the tanks, as you were mentioning, coming out from MarineKing. That is really fast. Almost unprecedented timing that we're seeing here. MarineKing back in home is making his 3rd factory. It's making it actually at his third base, so he's got this faster rally point. He is getting that fifth base up as well right now, and he's going to control the center of the map. A ton of Overlords are misrallied here.
Supply blocking.
Oh my god, yeah, by
heavily.
50. He's going to make a ton of Overlords now. That's so many resources he did not want to spend, and a lot of Larva as well.
And he's getting Thors now, and Thors are a great addition to a Terran army when you're facing Ultralisks. They do so much damage. They don't have to fight in the same row as the Marines.
Yeah,
they can be a backup.
There's no Spire. There's no Spire whatsoever on the map. He has no ability to transition into Broodlords here.
He has to stick to the Ultralisk composition. And once again, he's going in with all these Ultralisks. Well, the Infestors, the Fungus, they hit, and the Ultralisks take the tanks apart. All of them are already dead. There's only Bio left for MarineKing, who's dropping in supply like crazy. But look at this medevac count.
He's got 11. So that's why his supply is so high here, and that's why you can remax. Look at his gas count. It's actually starting to bank up a little bit because he's usually using only minerals to remax his army because with no mutas out, no corruptors either, the medevacs always escape. He clears the ground, the medevacs pick up what's left, and they escape. And he comes back again. This game is so sick, man. Right now we do see MarineKing getting that 5th orbital.
How many mules does he have? 9 mules.
9, in fact, yeah. Sensor Tower going down a second one at the 4th base. With that 5th orbital, he is going to have to clear some creep.
The income is at 3,300.
That's incredible.
Oh, wow. MarineKing here. He's getting tanks, more sensor towers. I love these decisions, but 9 Infestors and 12 Ultralisks, they will be a problem. They will definitely be a problem for MarineKing, who is slowly but steadily also running out of money. While BBoongBBoong has his 5th base, he might even take another one. And he has Overlords in position at the bottom right to spread creep. It was killed, but nonetheless, he has to wait until he lands another command center.
Yeah, he needs that base up pretty badly because, again, he's about to lose another army. He's going to have to eventually lose it.
BBoongBBoong is showing us here why he's one of the top contenders in his groups, even though names like MarineKing and MMA are definitely the favorites here. But BBoongBBoong is such a great player, and he
this
shows
is a great position, though, for MarineKing, having a great concave. BBoongBBoong tries to force it, and his fungals, it looks like they are many, but MarineKing still holds. There's not enough support for these Infestors now. Infestors alone will not kill this army.
With the Queens in the original fight, it would have been so much better for BBoongBBoong. He could have transfused a lot faster, but like this, he lost a ton here. He's maxing out once again with 8 Ultralisks, but these Thors help MarineKing a lot. But he's trying to get a 4th base at the bottom right, and I'm not quite sure if BBoongBBoong will allow him to regain all his income that he had earlier. BBoongBBoong is nearly maxed out again, and he just is in a great position here.
Yeah, he is. My only concern for him is he has no transition in sight. He's making 7 Ultras now. A few of them just finished it. Put him up to 12 Ultralisks in total, a 13th on the way. That is so many Ultras. Yeah, Ultralisks are a pretty good unit. I mean, they're useful in the late game. They're so hard to kill. But he's relying basically purely on Ultralisks and Infestors. And as we saw in that last battle, MarineKing, once he cleans up the Ultras, just has so much.
BBoongBBoong scouted the base to the top right. He knows what's happening, and MKP is relying on his mules once again. 10 tanks, 2 Thors. That's the army that's currently facing BBoongBBoong, as well as the bio support. But 12 Ultralisks, and he's trying to go for it. There's siege tanks, siege up. Here come the Fungals, Infested Swarmax, and BBoongBBoong going for the attack, dropping its supply. But now it's MarineKing who has to be afraid of this beefy army of BBoongBBoong Prime. What a battle! What a game! And look at this medevac count, 12 of them.
Yeah, he still has those medevacs out. Whoa. There's no way to kill them. BBoongBBoong, though, wins that battle pretty convincingly. Now he's got a ton of Ultras going to this bottom right base, which, as you mentioned earlier, was scouted. He has to lift. He's going to lose a lot of SCVs here.
I kind of miss the drop play of MarineKing, especially with all these bases that BBoongBBoong has. He's really spread out, and even though he needs to have his units with the tanks, one dropship that's headed to the top left would potentially make all the difference here. But with spine crawlers
crawlers and spores are set up everywhere, though. He's so prepared. Look at the bank. He's got 1,300 with 900 gas in the bank as well. Some Infestors try to sneak in here and do some damage. MarineKing does clean them up, no problem. And MarineKing, he needs to win a fight. He needs to actually have himself better spread out. he hasn't been able to deny the crease threat of BBoongBBoong anymore, and because of that, he actually doesn't really have any map presence. He's trying to, again, every time you notice MarineKing moves out, he moves to the bottom right first, because that's the weakest area of creep. That's where he wants to fight. That's where he wants to start forcing the engagements. He's going to do it again, though, on creep in the same place as last time. These Banelings, however, are not ready.
He needs the Fungals. Without the Fungals, the Ultras will have no chance at all, and now he has them maybe a little bit too late. Most of the Ultras is already dead, but the Banelings, they are screaming in here. He retreats, and now
MarineKing in a great position.
Chase.
He is giving chase indeed. The Infestors with not enough energy for Fungals are being targeted down. The Banelings trying to close the distance. There's so many siege tanks. The Ultras cannot close the distance, and MarineKing finally winning the battle that he needed to win a long time ago.
Exactly. Now he's in the position that he can carry the momentum into the heart of the Zerg base, and he takes down the first base. And the main question, will BBoongBBoong recover from this? He's trying to get Zerglings and Ultras back into the picture, but MarineKing is looking pretty strong here. An intense back and forth game between those two prime players.
Yeah, and MarineKing does have a similar economy to his opponent. They're both basically on the same amount of mineral income right now. MarineKing ahead in army. He has less workers, but that's because he's okay with that because he has those mules. You can see our observer just highlighted the income with the mules. He actually has better income at times. And his unit composition is just going to become more and more cost efficient, I feel, how he engages this. I love that MarineKing has been using his tanks almost exclusively in tank mode. These Zerglings are going to clean up some of the SCVs of MarineKing. Not too many killed there in total. And now it's 48 SCVs to 79 drones. But again, with the mules, it's not a bad spot for MarineKing to be in.
5 Infestors, that BBoongBBoong has at this point in time. He also has 5 Ultralisks, but he needs more in order to overwhelm MarineKing's army. And MarineKing is way ahead in army supply right now. He's 50 supply ahead in army supply with 135 to 82. And now he's moving in, a desperate BBoongBBoong Prime, trying to make it happen. Moving in with everything he has, losing the Banelings, losing the Ultralisks, even a few of the Infestors bite the dust. And this looks like MarineKing might be able to take this fight into the main base of BBoongBBoong.
Yep, it looks like he just will, man. BBoongBBoong looking very ahead throughout this game. He had no transition out of Ultralis. It was a hard transition to make. I mean, no one would have really been able to make it in this situation against this much aggression from MarineKing. Every supply counts. It's hard to make Corruptors. When you need to make Ultralis, you need to make Infestors. You have to spend all your gas on that. Great position on the ramp here for MarineKing, doing a ton of extra DPS, having the concave at the top.
He cannot engage.
No, he cannot. He's going to try it, and I think he's basically going to give up a potential win here.
Wow, MarineKing with great decision-making in the game, and this was just a razor-thin match.
He forced his way into the heart, man. How often can you actually do that against a strong Zerg like BBoongBBoong? Usually you have to do a big drop to do something like this, but he actually just killed the creep on the edge and went all the way across the map, forced his way in. Now he's doing a split push, going across the left side of the map as well, finding some Ultras over here a little bit stray.
With the tanks and the Marauders, he cleans them up with ease and a little bit of micro needed, but MarineKing, he's one of the top players. Actually, a few more Ultras coming up from the top of the ramp, and they are finally clearing this up. So with the reinforcements, BBoongBBoong is able to take them down, the forces down after all, but he lost too many Ultralisks here, and he's losing production. He's not only losing bases and hatcheries, he's losing production.
He lost his tech, yeah. I mean, he's having to remake his Baneling Nest, his Ultralis Cavern, and his spawning pool. And for this reason, MarineKing is continuing to produce units, whereas his opponent cannot. MarineKing's economy, though, is so heavily affected by this. He has lost so much mine time. He only has 100 minerals in the bank right now. He's actually going home
and look
with
at
his army.
Supply. He is pulling ahead again.
Yeah.
He lost his main base. He lost his tech. But guys, he's not out of the picture just yet.
He's mining, and he has rebuilt his tech.
Indeed, yeah. So this could be very, very dangerous for MarineKing nonetheless. He hasn't won yet. He's in a good position with this army that he has. But if he doesn't make this count right now, if he gives BBoongBBoong too much time, BBoongBBoong might just claim victory after all.
These 6 Ultras are going to be so important.
Yeah.
How they come out and where they fight is going to be crucial. He has some Banelings out. He has no Infestors, though, Caldor.
That's a huge problem.
I don't think he even remade his Infestation Pit. I think that's the biggest problem for him right now.
Indeed it is. Ultralisks, let's be honest about it. If you don't have the fungal support, then Ultralisks are really bad. You can kite them. You can make sure that Ultralisks will never be able to attack on the, well, on an area where they have to in order to deal the damage. So without the Ultralisks, without the Infestor, without the fungal, it's gonna be tough on BBoongBBoong.
Yeah. BBoongBBoong, he needs an Infestation Pit, but he doesn't have a lair. And without a lair, he cannot make one. This is I feel slowly but surely an unwinnable situation for him unless he's somehow able to get that lair up. He has the resources to do it, but if he makes a lair right now...
If he can push MarineKing into a corner, that's what he has to do at this point. Trying to force a fight that's in a favorable position to him, but it's going to be very, very hard. The army supply is getting crazy. 130 for MarineKing, while BBoongBBoong is relying on only 70 army supply.
Yeah. It's 25 SCVs to 62 drones, but with mules, MarineKing's economy, and with the units he's making and how much gas he
borrow
has
some banelings here.
Yeah, that would be something great
but
to see.
nice. Scanning ahead. I really like this. This would reveal banelings as well. But baneling traps might be something that he could try. But at this point, it's just going insane. He's going in for the kill.
Too many units,
What
splitting really well.
Split here. The banelings, they connect, but it is not going to be enough as MarineKing is pushed a little farther back. But those Ultralisks, they die one by one. And what a micro by MarineKing. Even though he drops in overall supply, his army supply is now 70 to 26.
Yep, BBoongBBoong can no longer deny his mining. He has another mining base over at the right side of the map with the 3 o'clock expansion. The income from MarineKing now is about to get off the chain, man. He's going to have just too many mules. Right now, in total, 8 mules. His income, 2,000 minerals per minute. That's going to allow him to remax so quickly. 3 tanks at a time coming out for him. He's still spending that gas bank he had early on in this game. So minerals are really his only problem. And he's like, what do you mean problem? I actually have mules. He's like, what are you talking about, Wolf?
Love how BBoongBBoong is trying to fight his way into his opponent's main base. He's not giving up, and he shouldn't give up. MarineKing might have a huge army, the better army, but this game is not over just yet. The advantage is in MarineKing's favor because he has such a great army, such a huge army, and he's trying to make it count. But BBoongBBoong, he is fighting. He's fighting for his first win in the up and down matches, and MarineKing now streaming into the top left, forces his way to victory. The GG out of BBoongBBoong, and MarineKing is like, whoa, that was a lot harder than I actually hoped for.
A very epic first game, so back and forth. BBoongBBoong refusing to make that Greater Spire switch. And I don't blame him. With that much pressure coming down on him, it's hard to actually make a switch, especially when you don't even have the Spire in play. I'm a little bit surprised MarineKing didn't do more drop play, but towards the later stages of the game, he couldn't. There were too many spines, there were too many spores in play.
Look at that. MarineKing is like, oh man, you sure made me work for this, didn't you?
Yeah, and he's going to say, you know what, if you play like that against MMA, I think you might be able to take him out when you play him later on. That was epic play.
That was awesome. I love this game. This is like the perfect first match that we have today. It is brilliant. A lot of action and really close game between these two. And it just shows to all the other players in the group that they have to be really, really careful. BBoongBBoong, he might have lost this game, but he gained a lot of respect, and no one will take him lightly today.
No, absolutely not. BBoongBBoong is a player I've been talking about for a long time as an up-and-comer. His games in the GSTL have shown he is one of the best players in the world in all matchups, looking very, very strong. And in fact, with the play that we saw from him in GSTL and in Code A on his way up to that Code S, I've just been so impressed. Every single game I've watched, I've been like, this guy is so underrated right now. And in his game against MarineKing there, you can see the practice against this veteran, you know, Marine splitter basically, who against Infestors and Ultras kept his tanks in tank mode, fought consistently well in every battle. And I mean, I cannot wait to see what the rest of the group is going to be like for him. But let's not forget about our next match. This is going to be our second team kill of the night. It is going to be Complexity's Killer against Complexity's Heart. And Hart is someone who's gotten a lot of flack for doing all-ins, but you know what? I respect his playstyle. He has shown great performances at MLGs, and, you know, he hasn't had his Code S spot yet. He hasn't been able to really prove himself there, but I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do on this map. It is going to be Entombed Valley.
It's going to be Entombed indeed, and here they are. To the right, we have Complexity's Heart, and obviously also his opponent. It is Killer to the left. Currently, MMA's entering the studio, preparing for his match, setting up his gear now because he has to play the next match. He's up against Ace. Before we head into another Terran versus Protoss, we are focusing a little bit on the Complexity match here. Both of them just chatting, warming up, and this is gonna be a good one.
It absolutely will. Cannot wait to see how these two team members collide. Two Koreans, two former players of Korean teams have both gone to the foreign team Complexity. They're here to show their skills. The GSL up and down matches cast by Caldor and Wolf.